What stopped you from committing suicide? Being scared of the darkness and lack of consciousness that follows. As much as I want it to be all over, I know when I die that's it, so I might as well suffer alive than be free and gone. I was on my way to a pretty major bridge to jump off it. I was crying a lot, just had a gut punch delivered to me by people who I thought cared about me. Turns out they didn't. It was very much a split-moment decision to walk to this bridge. I was almost there when the homeless guy on the street asked if I've got some spare change. Weirdly enough I did. So there I was, fishing out my pocket the random collection of coins I had in there when the guy just started talking to me about stuff. He had his dog there and he was saying that she needed some new food and toys. Next thing I know I've collapsed on the path with his dog nuzzling my face. I must have spent about 5 hours sitting on the sidewalk, talking with the dude while hugging his dog. This guy had such a wonderful outlook on life. He talked about seeing the sunrise from where we were and how beautiful it was, the birds in the trees and how their song gave him meaning. Honestly, I was kinda jealous. I wish I could have that outlook on life. Eventually the sun did rise, and it was just as beautiful as he described. Seeing that man, listening to him while hugging his dog made me realize that it's not all doom and gloom. That my head, while toxic, can see things of beauty still. The guy saved my life, I told him so. All he said was to pass it on to someone else who needed to feel like they weren't alone. That was 6 years ago, my life's fully turned around. The guy is off the streets now and his dog is as cute as ever. Spite. My cat. I couldn't leave him alone. We are bonded. Martin Pants. My dad's gun was unloaded. I was 15 and didn't know how guns worked. I just went to his drawer, grabbed his police revolver, cried for about an hour deciding whether I would actually do it, then in a spurt of adrenaline decided to say fuck it, put it in my mouth and pull the trigger. It was the most horrible thing I ever experienced and I'm glad my father was smart enough to always unload his gun. It's been about 11 years and I never told my parents about it, and probably never will. I managed to turn my life around since then, but the sheer trauma of legitimately trying to off myself haunts me. It's a sensation I dread ever feeling again. Getting my degree classification. I thought I had ruined my whole degree because my mental state was so bad when I submitted my last assignments. Was staring at some rope in my room thinking about using it and then I got the email. I have never cried so hard in my entire life. I was going to jump off the top of my high school building but I wanted to write my last goodbyes. I was writing my suicide note on top of the balcony that's connected to the music room, then I see my music teacher casually walk up the stairs. He sees me writing, crying, then he asked me what's going on. All I could say was, "Didn't you have a teachers meeting today?" He responds saying it got cancelled for some reason. Before that day I didn't believe in God or fate, but ever since that day it all changed. My siblings. I want to be an inspiration and role model to them. If I ended up harming myself, that would just be selfish on my part. They deserve better. My dog couldn't do it. The thought of him not knowing what happened stopped me from doing some fucked up stuff to myself during a bath. My kid, I'll never consider doing that to her no matter what. My cat Lenny. Couldn't leave him alone. This is the one that hit home. A failed attempt made me realize how lucky I am to have people in my life that cared for me deeply and how much I'd hurt them if I succeeded. Laziness. I really wanted to wear a dress. Sounds stupid, but I was at a phase of my life where it wouldn't exactly be possible for me, so to speak. I was young and wanted so badly to be a girl and do all the girly stuff and shit, but thought it would never be possible for me. By then I had already been denied for hormone treatment a few times by the medical system. I felt like I just couldn't live like that and thought it would be better to just end it. I can't remember how, but my mind eventually wandered into a spite train of thought where I decided that committing suicide would be a failure and loss on my part and that I had to keep going out of spite for the world, I guess. Flash forward to today and I'm rocking those dresses, being much happier than I ever thought possible. The thing I was gonna use to tie the belt to fell off, and I thought that was pretty funny, and I remember thinking, wow, I don't even wanna do it anymore, that was silly. Sacrificed my entire life savings and emergency fund as a down payment for a sports car. I have something to look forward to now, so I at least temporarily have something to be alive for. Once you've accepted you wanna die, you kinda accidentally open yourself up to wanting to live. Too much of a pain in the ass. My family. My daughter passed last year, and I couldn't put them through losing another person, no matter how much losing her wrecked me. I couldn't compound that and leave them alone to deal with it. Haha, same vibes. Near-death epiphanies give you the strangest perspective. Raised eyebrow. I planned on committing suicide on my 22nd birthday this year. When the day came, I just had no reason to keep going. Seconds before I pulled the trigger, a friend texted me saying she was going to commit suicide that same night, so I stood with her on a call for the rest of the night. She doesn't know, but I'm still alive because of her. Dancer, dress, dress, dress. The pain and the what if it goes wrong and I am paralyzed for life. My last suicide attempt was May 29, 2019, it was the closest I've gotten to succeeding. Reason why that's been my last is because of my dog. Now get I have 4 dogs, love them all so much, but I got this one dog, her name is Daisy, and I got her 2 weeks after my last attempt. I thought she was gonna get attached to my mom cause she was sleeping in her bed when she was a puppy. I was wrong. This dog is my fucking tumor. She follows me everywhere, even just to go get water or to the bathroom, she's there. She sleeps in my bed every night. My mom has told me that when I leave for school or to the store, anything like that, she's just waiting on the couch looking out the window watching to see when I come back. Now I don't know if she was meant to be mine and come into my life at such a specific time, but whenever I have my suicidal thoughts, I just think of her. Nobody is gonna care, love or even treat her the way I do. My other dogs love me a lot too, and I love them just as fucking much as my Daisy, but out of all of them, she's the one that just became more attached and I just can't leave her. At 4:33 a.m., Daisy is sleeping right next to me and I'm crying just writing this. Because my parents are still alive. Microdosing shrooms. Well, I've got 3 cats I need to take care of. So until they're gone, I'm safe. The thought that it's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Skyrim. As a teenager, I lived with my mom, who was schizophrenic and a raging alcoholic. Some days she would be awesome, but most days she was evil. One particular night, she was throwing shit at my friends and trying to fight me. We had to take the guns from her room because she swore someone was stealing from her and always brandished a firearm when she was suspicious. My friends and I retreated to the opposite end of the house while she had her moment, but she came to us, kicked my door down and started beating the shit out of all of us. My friends left immediately. They went to the end of the road and used the neighbor's phone to call their parents and never came back again. After they were gone, all of my mother's energy was focused on me. She began berating me, tearing me down physically and emotionally. This went back and forth until she stole my car, drove it through a barbed wire fence and got it stuck in the neighbor's field. When they came out to see what had happened, she told them I had driven it there and she was trying to get it back. She told the neighbors I was beating her and destroying her home. They called the police and I had the worst panic attacks of my life. As I waited for the cops and listened to her tell everyone how horrible I was, I started at the light on my nightstand and it finally clicked. All of this could be over. I smashed the light against my table and grabbed a handful of the glass and began wrapping my wrists and forearms apart with it. I passed out in a pool of my own blood. I don't know if the police ever came or not. I only remember blackness. The physical sensation of a void was present. It seemed like I was there for a very long time. Eventually I felt something physically pull me out of this void, and as I regained consciousness I saw everyone I had ever cared about and they were all in hysterics over what I had done. I guess this was a hallucination, but once I bandaged myself and stumbled through the house pale as fuck, my mom called a friend to take me to the ER and get fluids. I don't know what they told the doctor, but no one ever got in any trouble. I have been suicidal my whole life, but that vision of everyone in hysterics is enough to keep the desire at bay. I could never put my friends through that, no matter how selfish and upset I get. I have to stay here for them if nothing else. Magic mushroom. Wanted it to try drugs before I kill myself, oops, it saved me instead. My teacher's grabbing me lol. My daughter. She's just starting to form coherent sentences. At night she would ask me to hug her as she sleeps. When I try to remove my arm cause it's getting numb, she would pull it back and wrap it tighter around her. It's a constant struggle, the ideation and the numb right arm at night, which I don't mind. No one knows. The numb right arm from tight hug is what's keeping me here. My cat.